Today's guest is a creator who didn't wait for permission. She stepped outside the blueprint and made her own. She launched her own production company, completed her first film, and is already building a franchise daring enough to rewrite the rules of the game. A world builder, a trendsetter, and a force shaping her own narrative. Let's welcome Gianna Dattilo. I think I spelled your name, your last name. You're gonna have to correct me. Dattilo.
Yes. That's me.
You should have told me earlier.
Um,
So how's it going, Gianna?
It's going great.
All right, I'm gonna call you G Money. Is that okay?
Hey, how do
G-Money.
you know that? That's like my name. That's like
It
the whole
is.
thing.
Do you know
Yeah.
where it comes from?
No.
New Jack City.
Really?
Have you ever seen New Jack City?
I've seen like. No, not. I
Yeah,
guess I'm gonna
don't
say
try to
that.
lie. Yeah, don't try to lie on this one.
Yeah,
So
I know
have you?
what it is, though.
So Wesley Snipes,
Yeah.
Ice-T,
Yeah.
you know those?
But I've seen like not all of it.
Am I my brother's keeper?
Yeah.
Stand up real quick. Sit your $5 ass down before I make change. You don't remember that?
Yeah. Like I said, I've known like Listen, I grew up black in a black household, and then I slowly got kicked out of that, and I had to like make a new lifestyle. Right? They didn't accept me anymore.
They didn't accept you anymore.
No.
Well, speaking about a black lifestyle and how you view black people, I have a game called Hood Classic Energy.
Okay.
So are you ready for it? I'm just gonna ask you some questions, some black stuff, you know.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So what's your all-time favorite black sitcom, the one that you can quote word for word? Or should we call this game Black Card Revoked?
What's that one?
Let's check out the answers.
From Christmas about like, I think Ice-T was in there, and he had like the kids, and I don't know what it's called.
Christmas, Ice-T. Are you sure it's Ice-T?
I don't know.
Maybe Ice Cube?
Ice Cube. Ice Cube. I only know Ice-T from that Rick and Morty episode, where Ice-T starred in there, and he was like he was literally an iced tea in that episode. That's the only reason I know who he is. So I think it's Ice Cube I'm trying to talk about. Which is weird, because in the Rick and Morty episode, he was literally an iced tea. And you would think that like Ice Cube and Ice T, I don't know. But yeah, that movie, I think it's Ice Cube. And yeah, the kids, and like it was like a wacky Christmas. Right?
Hold on, is it what Christmas?
A wacky Christmas.
Oh, okay, wacky Christmas. I thought you said Blackie. This is like just gonna let you dig your own hole here. I promise I heard Blackie. A Blackie
I said
Christmas.
wacky. This is why they don't accept me. You guys like to take my words and completely like warp it. And just because I'm a bit lighter, you know.
I don't like how you say you guys like that. Like,
Well, how else am I supposed to? It is you guys.
what's the most iconic R&B song that instantly takes you back to your childhood?
I didn't grow up in like the good R&B classic era. Classic R&B era, makes any sense.
Okay,
I think that's the 90s.
Okay, what's a '90s song that you like a lot?
I'm like really basic, you know, like Bone Thugs and Harmony. My mom always listened to them, so like I kind of know a lot about them. I hope that counts. I hope that's authentic.
Oh no,
enough.
which song?
There's actually this one called Mr. Alja. And what my mom used to do is she used to like go, like my grandma lives in the middle of the woods, and like there's these random like roads. She used to drive on those roads and turn off her headlights and then play that song, because like the beginning is like they're singing Ouija, are you with me? And then like they're playing Russian roulette, and then the beat drops and it turns good. But like, yeah, that was one I liked for sure.
Okay, what's your all-time favorite hood classic movie and why? So it can be a hood classic movie or a black movie.
Well, does White Chicks count?
Yeah. Okay. I can. We can count white chicks.
Yeah.
Not surprised you came up with that answer, but you know we can count it. That's cool. It's crazy because you didn't know who Marlon Wayans was when I asked
I
you,
told
which
you.
was
Like,
crazy.
I can't like faces and names. You got to tell me the face.
But
not
you
the
know
name.
white chicks. All right. So what's the most underrated black movie that you think deserves hood classic status?
Boys in the Hood. Does that count? No.
We can take that answer. All right.
Does that not count?
I feel like this already it's an underrated black movie. I feel like that movie is like top tier.
Really?
Tier. Yeah.
There's
like
a lot of people that I know don't know that movie.
Hmm.
Even my black friends.
How many black friends do you have?
I've noticed that like my circle of white friends like kind of went out and that I have only black friends now. So a lot.
So what, 2?
I'm not that bad.
I'm
not that bad, but I would say 4.
All right. What's the?
I keep my circle small.
I agree with you there. I agree with you there.
See?
Okay. What's the most toxic but entertaining TV couple of all time? You don't have to limit it to just black. It can be whoever you think.
Entertaining TV couple. Do I even know a lot? I don't even.
You don't watch TV? You just talking about Rick and Morty?
I mean, I used to watch a lot of TV, and then I started writing my own stuff, and I was like, there's no need for TV anymore.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, speaking about writing your own stuff, so all right. Even though, so we just had the hood classic energy going, but now I want to shift gears for a second. I know you got this trend on social media called "Who is Gianna?" But before the internet answers that, I want to hear it from the source. So tell me, when you walk into a room, what energy do you think hits people first?
Energy that I think hits people first.
Racism.
That's 1. 2 is, I would say, a lot of mixtures of energy. Because I don't have like one thing I give off, you know. You look at me and you think that I'm one thing, and I start talking, and you're like, you are nothing how I imagined.
Care to elaborate?
Elaborate.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I'll meet somebody and I'll start talking, and they look at me and they go, "That is not how I expected you to sound," and I don't know how they expect me to sound, and like I'll start like jumping around and doing flips, and I'm like a really hyper person. They kind of expect me to kind of just sit down and you know, social media and talk about my boy drama and I don't know, just things that I'm stereotyped as, but I'm not. Like when I actually start talking and presenting myself, then they want to call me whitewashed. I don't know.
So I want to circle back. So you just randomly jump around and do flips?
Sometimes. I when I drink like caffeine, it keeps me up for days. I can't drink caffeine unless I absolutely need it. I have way too much energy and I can't explain it. I don't even know where it comes from. So yeah, sometimes I'll.
So you can do a flip.
Depending on where I'm at.
Okay, I'm gonna challenge you to that. All right, so tell me about your film journey. Where did it begin?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So basically, when I was little, I used to like always imagine like fake stories and scenarios in my head. And I never knew what it was called, but I had an obsession with like showing people. And I just never knew how to like get that across. And so
It's called insanity.
yeah. Insanity. When I was in 6th grade, we had like this hospitality class. I don't even know how they combined this with hospitality. And so they had this end of the year like test, and they were like, "What do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do for your career?" And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what it's called. And so I would describe it to my teacher, and she said, "Oh yeah, you're insane, but it's called film directing." And I was like, "Oh, that's what it's called." So then I kind of like stuck with that, and I never went back. And I was like, "I'm a film director." So the next year, or actually, no, this was all in the same year. What I did was I had this obsession with this video game called Five Nights at Freddy's because I was, like, the weird kid. Like, I was in that group of kids that got bullied. Like, I was the weird kid. And so I had an obsession with that game. And I was like, I really want to make this game a movie. So, I thought when I was little, if I emailed the creator and told him about this, he would, like, fly me out there and we can make the movie together. Mind you, I'm 12. I'm in 6th grade. And so I wrote, like, these contracts to all my friends, and I was like, sign this, right? Because they were all supposed to help me. And I said, you may be famous, so show this to your parents so they know that if you get, like, a flight ticket to California, like, they're aware of it. And so,
Wait. So you printed contracts in the 6th grade?
Yes.
What did they say?
It just said, you may get famous. Those were the words. I wish I threw them away because I felt stupid back then, and I wish I didn't throw them away. But I literally put, you might be famous from this, so let your parents know. And I had them sign it, and I kept all of them. And I also had them put their character's name on there, so I knew which character they were. And so I knew they were committed to that character. And, I just kind of had that delusion. And at the end of the year in 6th grade, I emailed him, and I, with all my soul, was so confident he was going to get back with me and think this was the most genius idea ever. Mm-hmm. And,
So were these the white friends that ran away you no longer have?
Yeah. Yep, man. They were all my white friends, and they're all gone now.
So you came up with this term. This is the first time I heard this term. It's called identical inconsistency.
Bars.
So did you coin this term, and what does it mean?
Well, if you to the question, who is Gianna? If you were to ask me, I couldn't tell you either. I don't know who Gianna is. And I just think it's funny how people, my name's G, right? That's what I'm called. That's what my name has always been. But for some reason, people attach the name Gianna to G. And so I just had people attach this identity to me, Gianna. And so, I'm going around and identifying as Gianna. And I don't know who Gianna is. Right? That's not me. So, on social media, I have a group of people who grew up with me, and they're all like, we don't know who Gianna is. Her name has always been G, right? Gianna's just a false identity. And I have another group of people saying, well, she's crazy. That is Gianna. She's just she's just going by G and lying to you and saying that she's not Gianna. Because I feel like on social media, it'd be easy to convince people that my name wasn't Gianna and that it's always been G. That's why I have to have another group of people say, nope, that's definitely Gianna. She's just kind of crazy. I don't like to call it DID, but growing up, I was G. Growing up, I
Hold on, what's DID?
Dissociative identity disorder.
Oh, okay.
Like, you never seen the movie Split?
Is that the dude? Is that the movie with the dude from X-Men?
Yeah, his name is
James McAvoy.
James McAvoy. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And people, I don't know. They like to say that that's like a false, like they like to say, oh, that's not what DID looks like. To be completely honest, that there's like different levels to DID. Mm-hmm. And like DID is when you have multiple different personalities and can't always remember, you can't remember anything about your past personality. Like when you split, you don't remember that stuff. You thought you were always this person. Mine is different. I grew up as someone named G, all right? And I was a bit more, I grew up with all boys, with my brothers. And, well, the crazy thing is, those brothers of mine were not always in my life. I kid you not, I was exaggerating. One day I woke up and I had brothers. Like, they stayed in my room and they took over my stuff, and I basically was one of them. So from there on out, this was like in 2013, I had brothers. And so I kind of felt the need that I had to be one of them, right? Because there was 3 of them, and I'm the only girl. And I'm like, well, I'm surrounded by these kids now. They're kind of close to my age. The closest one is 3 years, the 3-year age difference. And so I kind of always felt I had to be them. And so I kind of grew up with this false identity that I was like this tomboy named G. And I unfortunately, I didn't take very much good care of myself. I wore a bunch of hand-me-down clothes, bunch of mismatched clothes, didn't take the best care of my hygiene. And so, but that was at my dad's house, right? And I was living at my dad's house on weekends. Well, at my mom's house, my mom wasn't like that, right? So I had to completely like switch my style, and I had to dress up, and I had to take showers, and I had to do girly things because I had a sister over there. And I had to completely turn off that act and act differently around my mom. And after 10 years of doing that, eventually kind of got to my head. And now I have like these complete two different personalities that I can't seem to get rid of. And so it's G and it's Gianna. And I grew up as G, but deep down people want me to be Gianna. The Gianna got forced onto me so much, you know, because I didn't want to follow those standards of I'm the middle child, I'm the big sister. I have to put on like the you know, a good role model for my siblings, and I couldn't. It wasn't something I wanted to be. So I always liked being G. And after so long, I was like, are we even the same person anymore? Because we're completely different. We don't act the same. And it's to the point where I don't always remember. If say like I told somebody something, this was years ago, and I was like, okay, how was I dressing? And they were like, oh, you were in hoodies and you were in sweatpants and, you know, you had chains on. And I was like, well, that explains why I don't remember what I told you, or I don't remember that situation. I remember that event. There's some things I truly don't remember. And like I said, it's not as intense as DID, because DID is like, God, that never happened. I've always been this person. And then like there's just like a constant switch. My switch is triggered, but I don't know. And I just kind of used that to my advantage. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna see if I can fool the world with this.
Question. So who am I talking to now? Is it G or Gianna?
We can call me Gianna, but honestly, I couldn't tell you.
Okay. Well, you know what? We're just gonna call you G Money. We're gonna keep that G Money. Is that cool?
Yeah,
all right, cool.
That's fine.
All right. So you've been writing stories since you were young. What stayed the same about you from childhood to now?
Stories. I like to call this book right here the Bible, my Bible. All right. I'm sorry if that was offensive, but I'll explain why later. This book right here, all of these stories are like all the stories I've been writing since I was a kid. This whole thing is like filled with stories. And the thing about these stories is my characters are all based off people that I used to know in real life. And I had this like ideal friend, like this ideal world that I wanted to live in with me and all my friends. And so I kind of made a false world and made like similar characters to my friends and put myself in that false world. And I would write stories whenever, like, say like I had something happen and I was, you know, sad, or I was going through something. I felt alone a lot, and like this world made me feel not so alone. And it made like there's some things I wish my friends would do, and there's some ways I wish I was treated a bit more. So I went into this false world and had the characters do what I would want my friends to do, or how I would want my world to look. And it was like a false world, and something it's never changed. I do the same thing now. But it definitely shaped who I was, because I was like, these are really good stories, and I love these characters. In fact, I love them so much that I'm like brainwashing people into thinking that they're actually these characters, because I need them to act perfectly, right? I need you to be this character. And so when I cast people, I tell them, you need to like embrace this character, be comfortable with this character. And, you know, aspiring actors like, oh, I want to act. And like the biggest dream is to do what the dream is to, you know, as an aspiring actor, have a character that you're the face of. And so I'm like tricking them and saying, this is your character, this is my baseline, right? But everything else is up to you. I want you to like be comfortable and like become this character. And by me using those words, it just like brainwashes people into thinking, oh my gosh, I have to embrace this character. And the more I feed that into them, then the more they're like quite literally going to become that character, because they have all the freedom they want. So therefore, it's working. And
so you're a manipulator.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So we got the vibe, we got the personality. Now let's talk about the origin point of your whole franchise. So break down your first film, Abduction, more like adoption.
That one. Okay. So this one is kind of the seed. This is the first movie of the franchise, and this movie contains a very important character. In real life, I have my friend Abby, right? And Abby once wanted to be an inspiring actress. Mm-hmm. Well, because I also went to school with Abby, and she was in my digital media class. Mm-hmm. I knew that I needed her to help me behind the scenes as well. And so I wasn't going to be able to successfully be able to brainwash Abby into thinking that she was one of these characters because, again, I know her, we know each other way too well. So she has to be a crew member, and she runs my social media account. Well, the crew is also part of the movies. It's a story inside of a story. And so when you're a crew member inside of the movie, you know who I am. So everyone asks the question, who's Gianna? Not just people in real life, but people in the movies ask the same thing. Who is Gianna? Abby's in those movies because she knows me in real life. She's over there trying to tell people she's not Gianna, she's G, right? And with all that being said, she plays as a character named Shaylynn in Abduction, more like Adoption. And my whole thing is you have to look at the camera. At least one character has to interact with the camera, because when you're interacting with the camera, you're trying to interact with me. That's who she is. She's able to do that because she's able to jump in and out of the story because she's a crew and a cast member. So she is able to gain awareness that she is just a character in a story, in a series of stories. And so that one is like a sci-fi comedy, basically, about like this alien abduction, about these college students and these two frenemies named Carter and Sophie. Like, Carter's like this science nerd and all about math and physics, and he only speaks in those terms, though. And Sophie, she's like philosophical and all about English and grammar and poetry, and she only speaks in those terms. So
question: is the film is it out already?
It's still being edited.
Oh, okay. You're not giving away any spoilers, are you?
No, this is like
okay.
the basic.
Okay.
The basics.
Okay, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, so she only speaks in those terms. So they constantly like butt heads because like Carter knows nothing about what Sophie knows, and Sophie knows nothing about what Carter knows. Well, Sophie's little brother, James, is like Carter's little guinea pig that he always does experiments and stuff on, because believe it or not, this is originally based off Rick and Morty, an episode I've seen. So he gets abducted by one of Carter's aliens, and he's like, you know what, I'm so tired of Carter and Sophie. Like, I'm just let the aliens take me. And yeah, then the whole thing is Carter and Sophie need to go and get James back, because James wrote this letter. He was saying, hey, I got abducted by aliens. Please do not come and save me. And so Shaylynn and Milton are like these two supporting characters that happen to walk in on that. And Milton's like this like paranoid, he's not very rational about things. He looks at the letter and he's like, dude, James he's dying. He's been kidnapped. It's like, we need to go rescue him. And Shaylynn's like, you know what? That's a good idea, because for once, I want to be known for something. Shaylynn's just kind of always been pushed off, and no one ever pays much attention to her. And she thinks, I need more attention because all of you guys, like, you guys wouldn't be a thing if I weren't here. I'm a crew member. So, she's like, we should just go rescue him ourselves. Like, he's not dead. And she looks at the camera. She even looks at the camera and goes, he's not dead. And so the thing about them is, because Shaylynn and Milton, basically, just know that Shaylynn's really, really important, because she is able to go in and out of the story. She's able to walk past that wall, that fourth wall of like reality and fantasy. So in the movie coming out this summer, Shaylynn is now the main character, but she can't be Shaylynn anymore. You're a different story, you're a different identity. She can't identify as Shaylynn because Shaylynn's in that other story. And yeah, this one's kind of the sequel. The one coming up is kind of the sequel of that first one. But again, there's not really sequels because they're all combined. They're all combined into one franchise, and they are all stories from this book. And if you are someone that I casted and you have a character, just know that whenever you're in a different story, you have fractures. You can't identify as a character from another story in another story, right? That character stays in that story. So as long as, like, kind of getting lost myself here.
Yeah, well, that's going to be one of my questions for you, was the timeline in this film. So it's not in chronological order.
No.
What made you want to break the timeline right out the gate? Because usually you start off with a film and it's like, okay, this is the beginning, but this is technically not the beginning. It's somewhere in the middle, the end, who knows? So what made you want to do that?
I don't like being basic. I want people to think that they're predicting something, and then, like, it's not that at all. Just like when it comes to me, I want you to be able to know that you know who I am, and you think that you figured me out, and the reality is you don't. You can't put the pieces together at all. So my mini short films, right, the ones that are shorter and they're not as high budgeted, right, they all come from this right here, this book. And the higher budgeted ones, a lot of those are like the crew. It's about the crew members, because the crew members play a very important role in all of this. And so it wouldn't make too much sense if I released them in order. Because I don't want, you would think that the shorter budgeted ones would come out first, right? Because they're shorter and I don't have a lot of money and, just like that. But I want to mix them. So I have this one coming out, Abduction Like Adoption. I have one this summer coming out. All right, after that, I have the Tales of Jane and Augie coming out. And this one's going to be like a 2 mini seasons, like dark fantasy, Renaissance. My inspiration is like a series of unfortunate events, Alice in Wonderland. And you're going to figure out that the main character, Jane, in that one, she comes from a movie that's going to come after that called Big Little World. And Big Little World is actually how G became a thing. And you're going to figure out, oh, that character from that movie, she literally was the main character of that one. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. There's an entity force in the Tales of Jane and Augie that no one sees, right? But later on down the timeline, you're going to see the entity, where that entity comes from, right? You're like, oh, so that entity was from this movie, and I know why they're messing with this person, like this movie now. Like, it just wouldn't make sense if I made it in order. There's too much you can predict, and I don't want you to predict it. You're not going to know anything.
Gotcha. Yeah, definitely want to be unpredictable. So what's the wildest or most unexpected thing that happened during filming that actually made the movie better?
So when it comes to me writing my scripts, your average filmmaker will write the script and then they get things started from there. They'll write it and then, okay, I'm going to pick my cast and I'm going to pick my crew, and they kind of go from there. Me, I kind of start with the crew and the cast and then write the script. And so in Abduction, more like Adoption, for example, Mark, he typically helps me like getting resources, and he helps me behind the scenes and things like that. Well, Mark hits me up and he's like, I want a part in your movie. And I was like, okay, he wants a part in Abduction, more like Adoption. How can I add that in? So that's why I don't want to have a set script, because I like to be able to write as I go along. Now that I was able to add him a part in there, it's like the professor, and the professor is like Sophie and Carter's professor. And by me doing that, I was able to like add extra scenes and make it more comical. And was able to lead me into my next film this summer. And if I wasn't able to do that, if he didn't come in and ask me that, things would have ended up being different. So, yeah, I like to write as I go along with my life. So like for the script I'm writing this summer too, that one's only 2 pages in, because I'm thinking, okay, I'm writing this script, but I want to fly somebody from TikTok out here. I'm casting people off TikTok, right? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this person, tell them, hey, you're this character now. You have to become this character.
TikTok. So you just find random people and say, hey.
Aspiring actors, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it.
Aspiring actors, and they say yes because they want to do it, and they trust me because they see that, I got something going on. And so I was, okay, I'm going to get somebody from TikTok off of here. What I want this person from TikTok to do is predict something in this movie. And I'm going to get them out here, right? So this person, right, she's already identifying as a character that I assigned to her. I was like, hey, this is your character, right? This is her looks. This is how she acts. This is how she dresses. Get those down and just become her. Everything else is up to you, right? So however you interpret her is that's all for you to pick. I gave you the baseline. Do whatever you want from there, because it makes them comfortable, and it actually makes them feel like, okay, I am this character. I get to decide who this character is, and I get to choose. I have all this freedom. So then I'm getting her out here this summer. And if I had a set in stone script, I wouldn't have been able to work with that. Also, the biggest thing is I'm all about becoming. I don't like acting. I don't want to call them, I don't like that. It's too cliche. So you have to become this character. And with that being said, a script is too robotic for me. So I give them the script. I give them however much time they need to memorize the script. And I take away the script. This script, not relevant anymore. So then a lot of it is improving, right? you forget a word or you start stuttering, I expect your co-star to kind of pick up where you're messing up. Like, it's like a friend group, right? And I start stuttering. I expect my co-star to be like, make fun of me for stuttering and then kind of get things back on track. It's supposed to seem natural, as if like it's not a movie, but it's like the Truman Show almost in a way too. Like, these people don't realize that they are in a story, and I'm the writer of the story. That's why everything is so natural. Right? You don't need a script, and you have to act as naturally as possible because, mind you, you're not this character. You are this person now. Like, you are becoming them.
Gotcha. Well, you didn't just make a movie. You built an entire operation. Let's talk about Everyday Alchemy Productions. So this is your LLC. You specialize in photography, digital marketing, video production. Why those 3 lanes, and how do they connect to your bigger vision?
So, I kind of want to be known for my creative concepts and about how, like, I stand out. I'm able to do things no one's ever done before because I like to play with the rules. I like to think outside the box. And who wants to be like every other production company? With all that being said, I'm able to kind of have my own style to things. So, in the future, when I'm helping produce another film with another company, I want you to be able to tell, okay, I knew that Everyday Alchemy made this because I just have like that hint that I just put with it, and you're able to just tell, oh, yep, Gianna definitely helped make this movie.
So what is that hint, or what is that style that separates you from everybody else?
Probably the fact that I like to make things. So, okay, with my digital marketing, I want to go up to smaller businesses, and I like to offer them promotion videos or ads and just help get their name out there. And what I do is I ask them a series of questions, right? And some questions are personal, and then some questions are about their company specifically. Mm-hmm. Based off the answers of those questions, I like to create them their own, like, personal, like, vibe that fits that company, right? I like to take who they are. Like, Everyday Alchemy, that's who I am. Like, I took my personality and I was able to combine it, and I was able to give it my own, like, style, my own look. Oh, this is definitely a Gianna thing. So, because that's what makes you stand out, being yourself. So if I go to a company and I ask them these questions, I like to make it, okay, yeah, how do I put this? No one's ever done it, but I'm able to, like, assign you a style that makes it stand out, and based on who you are, I can, like, you know what I'm trying to say? I feel like I'm not good with the words. So say, like, I'm trying to promote you and help you stand out. I'll ask you questions. Okay, random questions don't make sense. Like, okay, do you have a dramatic childhood, or what's your favorite song? What helps you get creative? Like, things like that, and I can take it and shape it into, like, your own, like, personal style that fits you, and people just, like, it's.
So you're turning trauma into
no,
style.
Everyone always says that.
That's how you explain. I'm just asking. So is that? I mean, that would be different from everybody else, though.
Yeah,
you know,
because someone asked me the same thing. No, that's just like an example. So say, like, you didn't have trauma, that, like, your answer was no to that, and then you said yes to, like, okay, for example, I had this friend who wanted to make her own, like, cooking company. She was obsessed with cooking and baking and things like that. So I was like, okay, so how we could do this is if you have trauma, right? But your genre is comedy and you like being funny. What if you did, like, this thing where you're baking, and, like, her trauma was with the relationship that she had. And I was like, okay, you want to be funny, right? And you're baking. So, like, you do, like, a come cook with me, and you're, like, trying to tell a story time. And you're like, okay, this is the spoon my boyfriend used to hit me with. We're going to use this spoon, and we're going to mix it with the eggs and the flour. Like, just, you know what I mean? Like, depending on your answers, I'm going to, like, create something that I think fits you and what you're trying to do best.
Okay, so but I got you though. I got you turning trauma into style.
But not if you said no, you don't have trauma. I'm gonna work around that. Like, it just depends on all of your answers. I'm gonna shape something depending on what the answers you gave me, because I'm trying to make it fit you. This is your work, and I'm trying to make you stand out. And how are you gonna make you stand out? Just by being you, you know? I feel like people are just, like, too similar because they're too scared to kind of bring out who they are and based on like judgment and things like that. I feel like people are not authentic enough. So I'm trying to make them understand that like you.
Yeah, my boyfriend beat me with a spoon. Let's take a picture.
No.
Let's put me on a white backdrop. Get the makeup. Don't forget about the black eye right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll put it like that.
That's what's gonna make me feel better.
I mean, sometimes it does.
Yeah.
Some people, it helps people, it makes them want to connect with you and makes you feel like they're not so alone. I'm big on loneliness and like.
So it's like for people that don't have the words or courage to identify with a similar matter, you can take a picture and then people can look at that picture and say, oh, they're going through that too.
Picture, but also like
or a video. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can make a short film like or something like that.
It's like, usually for my friend, I was thinking, just like TikTok videos of her like talking while she's baking and like kind of connecting objects to trauma and just to make it funny. And it could help people feel like, okay, I'm not so alone on this, but this is actually funny. So it doesn't like, stick with them a certain way and make them feel uncomfortable. Like, oh no, it's funny. So I can relate to that. And it just kind of gets them comfortable. But if you don't have trauma and you give me different answers, I'm going to attach different things to that. Yeah. Like, I'm just trying to make it you.
Gotcha. Well, you built this company before the industry even noticed you. What made you move first instead of waiting for permission?
I don't follow the standards and the rules, because I'm like, okay, I love doing this. I really don't care what anybody else thinks about it. Mm-hmm. And I know I stand out. I know I don't have very much competition because, again, I stand out. And but why do I need to wait for permission? This is my company. I own this, and I just don't play by the rules.
Gotcha. So what's the project or client moment that made you realize, okay, this is a real business now?
My cousin, she is pretty successful, right? And she's really good at helping smaller business owners. Kind of like she's really good at helping people make a business, basically. And I went to her, and I remember I told her, I was like, I think I want to. For first, I just wanted to make one simple movie when I was a kid, because I used to be terrified to dream bigger. I used to like keep myself in this box, and I'm like, there's only so much I can do. And I was like, well, I kind of want to make 2 movies. And I was like, okay, I want to make 3 movies. And I kind of went from, why don't I just make my own company? And so I went to my cousin, and for some reason, for the life of me, I couldn't answer this question at the time, but she was like, okay, what would make you stand out? And this was last year, and I was like, what would make me stand out? I don't know. I don't know at all. I just want to make movies. I just want to put it out there. And she goes, we need to figure out that answer, because, entrepreneurship and film, it's, you got to compete, right? Why should someone come to you versus anybody else? And I'm like, I don't know. I really can't figure this question out. So then I would sit and I would think, and I'm just like, what would make me stand out? And I just realized, well, I stand out in life anyway, right? With my personality, and then my looks was just a whole other topic on its own. Don't even get me started with that. That's like a whole psychological another thing. And I just
Hold on, you say you stand out because of your personality and your look?
Yes.
Elaborate on that.
The look thing. Okay. For the longest time, right? Because I grew up one way, and I there was one way I want people pushed on me, and there was one way I wanted to be. After years and years of that, I thought I was crazy.
When glasses off.
Yeah, when I would dress more with my natural hair. Or I have curly. This is like a crochet. It's not real. I have naturally curly hair. For some reason.
Please don't touch. Sorry, I just had to say that. Continue.
For some reason, when I was around all my brothers and I was wearing their clothes and, acting like them, I got confused for little boy a lot. An undesirable amount of times. And I kind of felt okay with it after a while, because that's the only compliment I would get. And it's not a compliment. You're like, that's not a compliment. Well, to me, I never really got the reassurance or like the positive affirmations and like, the talk like that. I never got told I was pretty or any of that. So I kind of liked that. It gave me attention. Okay, yeah, I look like a boy. I kind of like that. And I would look at myself and I would think, why do I kind of look like a boy? Like, just something about me makes me look like a boy whenever I wear my natural hair and I have on like a hoodie or like shorts or like baggy clothes. And
now that you talk about it, have you seen My Wife and Kids?
you have a wife and kids?
No, have you seen the have you seen the TV show My Wife and Kids?
No.
Okay, it's a character named Frankly. You guys kind of resemble. We'll continue.
Yeah. And I think this is pretty rare. So for years, I dressed up like a boy, and I always got confused for a boy, and I was like, why does this always happen? And like I said, I hated the fact that I liked it. When I dressed more feminine, right, and I did my makeup, and I straightened my hair, and I wore like a skirt and a tighter shirt, I look at myself and I think, I look like the girliest person ever. How do I do that? But when I switch it to my curly hair again and a t-shirt and a chain, I think, oh my God, I look like a guy. I don't know how I do it. And I thought I was crazy because my mom, this is not the right person to go to when I want to ask these kind of questions. She's like, well, you always look like a girl to me. And I'm like, I'm telling you, I play like this illusion somehow as soon as I switch up my hair and my clothes. So I'm talking to a newer friend, right? I just met her about 2 months ago. Mm-hmm. We hang out and we're talking, and she always told me she knew that, this was going to pop and that we're definitely going to be something because she's a part of the crew now. I was talking to her, and I was trying to show her a picture of myself. And I had when we were hanging out, I was in a hoodie, right? And I had my natural hair, and I had a chain on, and I had sweatpants.
B-boy stance.
Yeah. And I showed her the picture of me in like my straight hair, and I was in makeup because I did a photo shoot of myself. And she was like, I don't know why, but looking at this picture and then now looking at you, I would have never guessed that this was the same person. And I was like, I think you just solved something for me. And she goes, yeah, no, looking back at it, you don't look like you're somebody that would do that, or you don't look like the same person really. And she goes, you're like a hermaphrodite with your face. And I was like, I thought I was crazy. I swear to you, I even have pictures. I am able to like give off this illusion somehow, like perfectly. I could look like the most masculine person somehow, and then the most feminine person. I feel like, when you have like studs and things like that and girls that just dress manly, me personally, I can kind of look at them and tell, I feel like you just wouldn't look right feminine. Like if you wore a dress and makeup, I love my sister, but she's one of them. Like I can't imagine her in like dresses and like makeup, and she doesn't pull it off. She doesn't pull off the feminine look. And a lot of people, like I said, and like when it comes to studs and things like that, I feel like they can't pull off the feminine look. Well, same with girly girls. I feel like a lot of girly girls can't pull off like the masculine look. It just doesn't go together. There's only a certain amount of people that are able to kind of give off that illusion of both. I could look like the girliest girl ever and act like the girliest girl ever, but then I can somehow act like one of the most masculine tomboy out there. And it's all an illusion. I just have to change little things, and I somehow pull it off, and people always fall for it, and people are always like, yeah, you don't look like you'd be the same person. People genuinely like don't believe that me and G, that's what I'm referring to, are the same person. I don't believe it either, because when I look at the pictures, we look like twins, and we don't look like we're the same person, and it's crazy. And I thought I was crazy for 19 years thinking that we don't look the same, because we don't. There's something in my face that like messes with people somehow. And yeah, that's how I got here now. My face.
Well, speaking about how you got here now, so you've built the company, you've built the universe. So what's next on the horizon? What else can we look out for from Gianna?
What else can we look out for?
Yeah, you were talking about the project you're about to direct earlier before the show. You want to talk about that?
The one by
Mark Crawford.
Him. So I'm gonna be the director of a upcoming short film. It's like a comedy, like a comedy,
yeah,
right? And was about like this marriage that they get divorced, and like Adam and Eve are supposed to kind of resemble them a little bit, and I'm gonna direct that. I'm gonna add a little twist to it because I really like the script, and I think working with the characters, and working with the script, especially because it's a comedy, I think I could really make this pop, and I think I'm really surprise people with what I have in mind for it. It's my first thing. I think my first film that I didn't write that I'm gonna direct. So I'm kind of more nervous about it, and I'm kind of like being more careful what I do. But
So why are you nervous and want to be play it safe a little bit?
because I kind of feel like not everyone's style is gonna match what I have in mind. Maybe some people are not always okay with like characters going off script or looking at the camera or referencing things outside of the story world, or I feel like a lot of people, people like to play by the rules. Like I said, I don't like to play by the rules. I don't know how okay people are by that.
Yeah. You gotta be confident. It's your world, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. Forget what they think. It's how you want to do it.
True, but I like to make people proud, right? And I want them to be happy with it. And I don't know how keen people are with my style of things. But I'm pretty confident that they're gonna like what I have in mind, and I'm confident in my directing.
Yeah. But it's your style that separates you from everybody else, remember?
Yeah, it does, but I don't know how people are gonna feel about it when it's like. Plus, like I said, I've never directed anything like outside of what I've written in Everyday Alchemy, so I'm also nervous about how well it's gonna be able to like go together, because my style specifically matches my stuff just because of the storyline and because how everything goes. This one, I don't know how well it would look if I had like E look at the camera and say something, or like talk about TikTok or go outside of their world. I don't know how that would go together. I can make anything work, but I don't know. I'm just like a little. I feel like when you tell someone to people who like act, they just have like natural acting like ways they like Mike, for example. He's an amazing actor. I feel like he just fits acting more than like fits some like when I sit here and say, okay, become this character, act natural, be a little bit more bland with your facial expressions. You don't have to exaggerate much. I feel like he just has that acting face and that acting style and those exaggerations. So I feel like not everyone is going to be able to pull off that just be natural.
Is it Tyson, Jackson, Jordan?
Mike Young.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, him. Because I didn't work with Michael Jordan.
I was trying to get you to say who you're talking, because people say Mike, they don't know who
I didn't know
is,
if you guys wanted me to say last names or anything.
Yeah.
My bad.
Nah, you're good.
But yeah, Mike is amazing, and I think he's like, especially because he does like theater and things like that. I know that if someone told me to act, for example, I couldn't do it how the actors do it. I don't have those kind of like expressions, or like I don't have that acting look. Mine, I fit my aesthetic. I fit my company's rules. Not everyone can fit that. I don't have that actor look. Some people don't have that natural style and able to be just laid back and just be comfortable. A lot of people just have to get in character. I don't want you to have to get in character. You are the character. Like, you are that person. That's who you are. So, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be fire. But speaking about fire, I got some rapid fire questions for you. So, are you ready?
Yes.
Are you game for the rapid fire question? Okay. Because some people, they fold under pressure. Okay. So, what's a personality trait you refuse to apologize for?
Honesty.
What's a red flag you are proudly, what's a red flag you proudly have?
Honesty.
What's a moment where you knew, hold on, how is that a red flag?
Because people don't like people don't like hearing about themselves. Like, really, they don't. And, like, I'm going to be honest, if you suck, I'm going to say you suck. But that should fool you. That should feel you to prove me wrong. No, I don't suck. And then, like, prove me wrong. I like to be proven wrong. Right? And I'm going to be honest about what I see, and it should fuel you. And if you take it, And it really helps. It really helps me tell the kind of person that you are. If you take it the wrong way, I already know. Okay, yeah, we're not going to be able to work together, right? Because I can tell how you feel about yourself just by your answer and by how you reacted to me saying that. But if you take it in a more positive way, a more positive approach, and use it as fuel, then I think, okay, we're definitely going to get along, right? I can read the person really easily based off what they tell me.
Okay. So what's a moment where you knew you were that girl in your own story?
Because I'm quite literally...
Or that boy in your own story?
All right.
Which one?
Because I'm quite literally, like, the creator of that story. Like, I don't know if this is offensive, but I'm basically, like, God of that story. And, like, Gianna is, like, God, and then G's, like, the Antichrist. Hey, no, it's not Gianna that wrote your story. I wrote your story. I'm your creator. That's how that is. And that's how I knew.
What's one thing you'll always choose? Peace, pettiness, or prosperity?
Pettiness.
Ooh, why? I'm with you, but why?
It's the little things for me. I pay a lot of attention to detail, and you know, I just think, like, and it's the little things that matter the most. It's little things that make the bigger things big. If that makes any sense.
All right, 2Phresh exclusive. You gotta answer this question truthfully. What's the most pettiest thing you ever done?
Pettiest thing I've ever done. Could it be like outside of?
Yeah, outside of film, whatever. Yeah. What's the most pettiest thing you ever done?
It's kind of stupid. In 10th grade, I had this friend, and I had asked her if she wanted to come on had a sleepover with me, and for some reason, I think she was just weird. She stopped talking to me, right? And I didn't hear from her, and she just made this assumption that I wanted to sleep with her. That is the most random thing I think I've ever heard in my life. So she went around telling people that, oh yeah, John wants to have a sleepover with me because she wants to sleep with me, and I was like, that's not how that works. So I was kind of mad, and I was like, okay, if we're gonna play this game and you want to act like this, I took a screenshot back when we were friends, when we were cool, and she made that assumption about me. And I think she has some trauma or something. I don't even know. She jokingly said, John, if you don't get down here right now, I'm going to come to your house and kill you. Like I said, as a joke. I took that screenshot, and I went to the principal, and I acted all scared and acted all threatened. And I said, she just threatened me. What do I do? And then he suspended her and never talked about me since. So that's what I did. Mind you, I didn't feel threatened at all. I honestly could care less. But I'm not going to go around and have someone sit here and say that about me when it's absolutely not true.
But in her defense, you did identify as a boy sometimes.
That's
though, right?
not what I identified. I didn't ever identify as a boy. I just kind of walked with the fact that I looked like one, right? I didn't go around saying, oh, yeah, call me he, him. That's my pronouns. I'm a boy now.
But did you dress like a boy?
I think I was on and off with it.
So if you dressed like a boy and you say, hey, I want you... was this your first time asking her to have a sleepover, or have you guys done this before?
This was my first time, but we both kind of talked about it together.
So when you talked about it together, were you dressed like G or Gianna?
I think I was like back in, like, I think sophomore year was probably the worst year I had, where I went back and forth on it all the time. Because like I said, I'm inconsistent. I can't consistently keep a style.
Yeah. So
I think I went back and forth with it. But I don't know how that, like, translates into I want to sleep with you. We're 15 years old.
When you switched up your style, does your voice switch up too, or is it just?
Okay. The whole like G and Gianna thing, right?
Yeah.
When I'm Gianna, I talk differently. I'm more exaggerated. I'm more happy. I'm more hyper. I have more facial expressions, and I have a higher pitched voice. But when I'm G, somehow I have like a natural switch where I can't help but to talk differently and more nonchalant is what they like to call it. I'm not as peppy with my facial expressions. I like to be very reserved and on the low with things, and I talk at a more like paced, relaxed tone. And I do a lot more with my hands, and I'm not everywhere with my expressions and my
I was really
actions.
hoping your voice was gonna get deep, like Barry White.
I don't think I'm able
like
to.
Barry White deep. I was like, oh, I really thought she was gonna go there.
This is how deep my voice can go.
Gotcha.
I have a naturally raspy voice, so I don't think it goes any like deeper than that. But I think depending on how fast I talk, is like that's what changes things. So I guess I'm more hyper now and I'm more energetic. But when I switch, you know, even and the crazy thing is when I like go back and forth, like say I'm Gianna now, and automatically, okay, I want to identify as G. It's like I just naturally like change my posture, change my facial expressions, and just like slowly just ease into a different personality, right? And it's natural. I can't combine G and Gianna. I can't combine what Gianna does when I'm G. It just doesn't. It doesn't go together. But I can just automatically switch it up, and now I'm Gianna, and I can't do anything that G would do. Like, me and G are not talking the same way right now, and you might think this is an act. I'm telling you right now, this is natural. I can't, there's nothing, I identify as Gianna, so, like, my whole body's like, all right, you're Gianna now. And then if I go identify as G, I can't be hyper, I can't be loud, I can't be peppy. It's just how I am. And then I'm Gianna, because this is, like, you know, that's the inconsistent switch. And I don't know which one I was when I mean, this is literally how I acted. Maybe she just thought I was a psychopath, which I did get called one the other day. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what she's seen me as, I guess. But I still don't understand how, if I wanted you to, that could have been me. I wanted to kill you, or I wanted to kidnap you, or anything but no, you wanted to say I wanted to sleep with you. I almost much rather you say, I just wanted to kill you and lock you in my basement.
Gotta say off you.
Off?
Yeah.
Because that's who wants to go around with some, like, she's basically trying to say that I was, like, gonna do something. And I much rather her just say I was gonna kill her and instead of walking with that title of...
You gotta say off you. You can't say kill. You gotta say off you. I'm just...
Off you.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know we were woke like that.
Oh, I mean, I was just, you know, just trying to prevent you from getting canceled and all that. But
I mean,
What's your definition of woke? Like, what does that mean to you?
Oh, don't unalive yourself, and the whole, like, let's filter some of these words out. Don't say this. Don't call people gay. Don't call people what they don't want to be called. Don't talk like that. You know, watch those triggering words. I don't care. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not.
Double down on it then. Go ahead.
What?
No, I'm saying you don't care. I'm saying just okay, double down on it.
You know, like how like Scary Movie 6 is about to like wipe all of these woke people out of the water, not holding back type. That's like what I mean. Yeah. I try my best to, like, if someone sits here and they're like, what are your pronouns? I just deep down I want to, like, but then I kind of have to be like, oh yeah, it's she, her.
With a smile on your face. That's fake.
She, her. If you couldn't tell. Yeah, like that.
All right, last question. What's one thing you'll never admit in a serious interview, but might say here? Besides the pettiness story, so that's story number 1. What's story number 2?
What would I never admit?
Yeah, like you wouldn't admit in a serious interview. It's like a job interview or something like that. You know, something that you wouldn't admit there, but something, you know, how we keep it 100 here. No filter here that you might say here. You might share with us.
I'm just very inconsistent. Like, whatever I said at the job interview was like, I'm not going to keep up with that. Like, I like to tell people, oh, yeah, I love, you know, showing up every day with a smile. Like, I'm a server, right? So I told the people at the job interview, I'm like, yeah, I love doing extra work. I love going out of my way. I love talking to people. I'll work hours at a time. I'll show up every time. Long story short, I low-key don't want to work all like that. Right? I don't want to give my all because this job isn't something I want to pursue, and I don't think it's that important. My social battery, it doesn't run out, but I get tired of people, right? I don't like taking tables. Like, if I'm about to leave, I told them, I was like, if I'm about to leave and there's a table that comes in, feel free to let me stay. Don't cut me. I'll take extra tables. No, if I'm about to leave, cut me. I don't want to serve these extra tables, right? I don't want to keep up with the act that I'm perky and I want to talk to you and I want to serve you. I don't want to serve you. I'm just here because I need a job. But, you know, it's the act, right? I'm not, but then sometimes I do. Sometimes, like, okay, yeah, I do want to go above and beyond for these people. Hospitality, I want to make them feel like they're family. And other times, I'm like, I don't care. I'm not going to remember you after today. Take your food and get out of my face.
You look like you just did, like, a monologue or commercial or something right now. Like, just something where it's just like, okay. I thought you were about to start rapping for a second, too.
I could never rap.
Get out of my face.
No. I could be
right.
the producer tag though.
You said producer tag?
Yeah,
Like you did one?
I could do one. Yeah.
Okay, do one right now.
Give me a producer tag. Or I should.
Just-
It's everyday alchemy. Boom. And then get on with the song. That probably was cringy. I'm sorry.
No, I'm gonna use that audio and try to make one. So next time I'm on here and we can test it out and see how it came out.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Okay, so rapid fire questions complete. You handle that like a pro.
I know.
Now let's close it out the right way. This has been another 2Phresh exclusive. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And always remember, stay fly, stay humble, and stay fresh. Peace.